Here we're going to show you how to bounce a project. Now you've theoretically already watched the other videos on adjusting your mix levels and getting all your volumes just right. I'm going to turn off our automation view after clicking back into Logic and cover one more thing before we get ready to bounce. We're going to move out here to the end of the file. And let's see what we got. Should be just a bunch of applause. Okay, well, obviously we don't need all that. I'm going to select this, and we can shorten this up a little bit. Sometimes it goes even longer. Generally, I only like 10 or 15 seconds of applause at the end of a CD or the final fade out. So let's see where we're at. We're at about 147. So really I only need 15 seconds at most. Okay, well there's 18, 19. Let's just go 20. I don't need all this. Why bounce it? It's just a waste of space, waste of time. So I'm going to bring that back in, leave some handle, leave some room. I'm going to hit the Enter key, go back to the beginning, see what we got here. Okay, well that's pretty good for the beginning. Out of curiosity, I imagine this file had already had that done to it. It's already been cleaned up at the head. I'm going to drag this over, just for illustration purposes. Okay, see how much junk there was out there? Okay, so we clean all that up. We just bring that off and get what we need to for the bounce. In this case, it is after the applause. We don't keep that opening applause unless they start performing underneath it or something. Let's get rid of that. Okay, well there's the first note. And just leave yourself a little bit of room there. Another thing worth noting is I turn my automation back on. Look what happens when I move that. Good news for us, the automation follows. So all that work I did earlier is good. So then I drag my file all the way back to the left, and it's ready to bounce. Now, bouncing is very easy, so this video should be really short, but I'm going to make it harder like I tend to do, and give you some more information that is necessary. Right now, if I hit bounce, I would bounce out the file from 0 all the way out, including all of this silence, out to this what they call end of song marker. Well, I could move that into song marker if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I don't care. Usually I just leave it in here. It doesn't really matter. If I select a region, then I hit the bounce, it will only bounce out the beginning to end of that selection. So that's what we do. We always do that. Let me repeat. We always do that. Why? Well, for a couple reasons, but the primary one is if by chance I come in the next morning and realize that you had set your L2 levels wrong, or you screwed something up, I would have to rebounce the project. And as you will learn later, if I make a CD based on this bounce, I have the option of rebouncing it as long as the bounce is the exact same length. I could overwrite your file and all the CD tracks will still line up. So, to keep us all on the same page, we always make sure that we bounce out only the selected region from the beginning handle to the end handle past the applause. So, that said, all I need to do now is click the bounce button, which is right here at the main mix. Might be a good time to make sure this is at 0 and this is at 0. This is your main mix volume and your master volume. If those were off, even though everything looks good, it would sound fine, the CD is going to be down by this amount. So I'm going to hit Alt, make sure that's at 0. It should be. It always should be left there, but sometimes we make mistakes and bump it. I am ready to bounce this out. So I'm going to click the bounce button, and it's going to open a window that gives me options. We always, for CDs, bounce the PCM file. We choose AIFF and 16-bit 44:1 resolution and sample rates. Offline means it's just going to bounce faster than real time. It's not going to have to play it out. Normalize is always off. And all I need to do now is click the bounce button and give it a name. The other options that exist is I could create an MP3 file. Okay, I could add that. I could create a PCM file and an MP3 file, and or just an MP3. So though 95.3% of the time we create PCMs, occasionally we're doing MP3s, especially during festivals. So, or maybe somebody was working on juries before you, and they left this with MP3 only checked. If you click bounce now, it's going to only create an MP3. And the next time somebody opens Logic, it's going to come up with only MP3 checked. So make sure you select PCM and highlight PCM to see the PCM settings. Again, notice this, highlight MP3 to see the MP3 settings. But anyway, we only want a PCM file. I'm going to click bounce. It's going to automatically create a folder called bounces right where we want it. You don't need to mess or fuss with anything. That file folder is exactly where we want it. Notice how there's already a file in here from before, so I'm not going to click the bounce button down here at the bottom of the screen. If I did, it would create that file. Important to note, the file naming convention is the same, 2015-05-26 Lucas Simpson. It's going to add the AIF extension, and that is always how you name these things. Don't do the standard American date format. This date format is what we use, and that's what you're going to use as well. So that is how you bounce a file. It will go through, and it doesn't take too long. It's pretty fast. And in fact, let me just show you that, and I'll probably stop the video here pretty quick, but I'm going to go ahead and click bounce. I'll give it another name, demo. I'll just add demo to the end there. Click bounce, and it's going to scroll across and give me the bounce dialog progress. And then at the end, it just says done. So I'm going to go ahead and abort this by hitting the escape key, and because you don't need to wait around for that. Anyway, that's how you bounce a project. Thank you for watching.